Hi, I will show you how to do this weird thing in After Effects. You see, image is sliced and slices are distributed in 3D space. I will be using some expressions, but not that it's too complicated. Let's start. Put your image into new composition. I'm using video, but it will work with any type of graphics if it has at least 3 different colors in it. I will rename this layer to Origin and then we'll duplicate it, rename to something like 01 and make 3D. I will need a camera and a null object, which I will call Control. That's important, put camera and null below 3D layer. And I will hide the origin layer. I don't want to see it, it just had to be somewhere in composition. What we are going to do is simple. We will make many copies of 3D layer, slice them using luminosity, and then we'll distribute them in 3D space along the z-axis. So the most sliced copies will be closer to the camera. Let's deal with z-axis first. We're gonna be using index expression and slider control effect. Let's select our null, go to Effects, Expression Controls, Slider Control. Let's set its value to something like 10. This slider will determine distance between copies of 3D layer. Select 3D layer, hit P to reveal its position. Select position, go to Animation, Separate Dimensions. This will make our expression a lot simpler, because now we don't have to deal with the array of X, Y and Z values, but only with one of them. Alt-click Z position, find slider control of null object and link expression field of Z position with the slider. Now let's multiply it by index expression. It returns the index number of the layer, 1 for the first, 2 for the second, and so on. That means the more copies of 3D layer we have, the farther they will be pushed along z-axis in space. Now let's slice them. For that we will need effect that is called CC threshold. Effects stylize CC threshold. It divides image into 2 colors. 0 stands for pure white and 255 stands for pure black. And we will use expression to make each copy of the layer have different amount of threshold. Before we begin to write expression, I have to explain one thing about this effect. If you click at those number and type in 255, it will be so. But if you go to expression field and type in just 1, it will be 255 as well. That's because 1 from expression field stands for the maximum value and 0 for the minimum. So typing 0.5 will result in 127.5, the half of the maximum amount of this effect. There are effects in After Effects that works the same way, and there are effects that don't try to understand this thing, just accept it. Okay, let's type 1 divide by this comp dot num layers multiply by index. This means we will take the maximum value of the threshold effect and divide it by the total number of layers in composition, and then we will multiply this by index number of each layer, so each new copy would have greater value of threshold than the previous one. There's a little problem here. We have these extra layers, camera, null and origin. We don't want them to be calculated alongside copies of 3D layer. Put these comp num layers in parentheses and type -3. 3 because we have 3 extra layers. Let's make some copies of the layer. You see that the more copies we have, the less black color there is in it. Perfect. Now let's delete white color. Effects, keying, linear color key, and pick white color. Right now we still see layer filled with black, but as soon as we start making copies, everything will be okay. There's only one thing left to be done. We don't want these copies to be black, we want them to contain original image, just sliced. And it is very easy to fix. Go to Effects, Channel, Set Channels, and select for red, green and blue our origin layer. Now it's loading inside our sliced layers. We're ready to start making copies. Something about 20 would be fine. I will animate camera as well so we could see the result. That's it. I hope you'll find out how to use this strange effect in your work, and thanks for watching.